Hey everyone, hope you're doing well on this beautiful Thursday. I am Martin Shkreli, and I'm here to help, I guess. Answer any questions you have about startups, investing, and maybe show you how I invest, some techniques. I hope you can hear me okay. Chat, what's going on? Nick, what's up? Check. Okay. Um, all right. What's going on? Vinny, Charles, Enthusiast Cole, Ken, Lame, Noah, Beantown, Schmoody. Um, I think academic finance is important. I mean, pretty important field. Alibaba. All right. Let's see here. Iovance. Where is San Carlos, California, anyway? All right, 3 billion market cap, $10, 300 million shares outstanding. That's 3 billion. Iovance, a mid-sized biotech company. Let's see, 229 million in cash. Another 183 million in cash. So around 400 in cash. They actually have a bunch of equipment, interestingly. Yeah, ASTS, crazy, right? That was just yesterday we were gonna look at it. I don't know if you can buy a private stock as a non-accredited investor in a big company like that. It's Iovance. It's on the screen. Can you guys see it? Yeah, you should be able to see it. $3 billion market cap. Depreciation is usually just straight line. You know, there's rarely salvage value of assets. Um, I mean, this doesn't really matter for most publicly traded companies. Um, you want your forecast to be perfect. You have to know the exact equipment, things like that. You could do it as a private company, maybe. All right, does Iovance have debt? Yeah, 1 million, not much. Okay, so basically no debt. So around a 2.8 billion enterprise value. I did want to mention, since I mentioned not just stocks but startups, there's a great tool I use. They're not paying me or anything. They should. They should. Called Crunchbase. It's a really great tool. I think you should try it out if you haven't. It's actually got some free features, and the paid version is pretty cheap. And I use it to look up investors, especially. So, like, if you're, I don't know, let's pick a recent startup. Here we go, Figure. Figure is 70 million. And I will look at something like this, like, who is Parkway Venture Capital? Never heard of them. They've only made 49 investments. That's not a lot. But if you look at some of these other ones, like, here's an angel investor. Angel investors are usually much easier to get a hold of. These are a lot of like not well-known investors. I don't know these guys, but they've invested in a lot of companies. 172. I know a few of these guys, but I don't know these guys. Really small. 22 investments in Brooklyn. And sometimes it's a lot easier to get a firm like this to invest in your company than maybe A16Z or Sequoia or something like that. So just something to kind of think about. Yeah, I'm not looking for sponsors. I don't need sponsors or ads. That's why people watch me, because I've actually done it. Anybody who needs a sponsor or an ad is a faker. I don't know, Korea Therapeutics. I don't care about Bitcoin miners. Is this the Bezos funded one? Gene therapy has just been a fucking bust, man. NASH gene therapy? Come on. 270. I mean, this is a crossover, right? These guys will be public very soon, I assume. Patient Square Capital? Literally not heard of them. I wonder what that is. Patient Square Capital. Who the... KKR guy. Yeah, big team. Huge team. These guys want to be like OrbiMed. I wonder how much capital they do have. Apollo Therapeutics, also led by this firm. Interesting. So it looks like they do PE and just like private, maybe like growth capital. Okay, first fund 4 billion, not that big. Largest first time private equity fund ever raised. Yeah, that sounds about right. 6 billion AUM. Interesting. Patient Square Capital. All right, thank you for that heads up. Okay, anyway. Consultants can be valuable. Oh, Korea is Vivek's brother. That makes sense. I remember when they started this. Okay. So Iovance has a product approved. It's called Amtagvi. I remember when this Liflacel was in clinical trials. It's selling pretty well. Amtagvi. Lifileucel. Okay, so this is for melanoma. I'll look at the label. Monitor patients for cytopenia and internal organ hemorrhage. Lovely. Inpatient. Autologous means comes from the patient. So they take your blood. Accelerated approval based on response rate. So these are for people who failed Keytruda. So second line metastatic melanoma. Cellular therapy. Administer a lymphodepleting regimen. Oh, okay, so you gotta wipe out the blood cells, replace them. Administer, wow, okay. It's like a whole regimen. So it's made for each patient. And you got to give IL-2. So you got to give cyclophosphamide. You basically have to wipe out the bone marrow. Amtagvi. It's amazing. You have 8% chance of dying just from taking the drug. Whew. This is a strong sucker. $156 patient trial. Okay, so they take the patient tumor. Okay, it's 23 days, about 34 days to create the drug. So you have melanoma, you're dying, you go to the doctor, he says, I need to cut a piece of your tumor. I'm gonna send it to the lab, they're gonna make a drug just for you in 34 days. The future is here. Kind of amazing. %32% have a response. That's not that good. Only 4% have a complete response. Complete response is what it sounds like, full remission. But the duration of response is pretty good. Looks like half the patients have a decent response. So, yeah, I mean, the response rate is low for sure, 32%. But if you're dying and you basically have, at this stage, we've metastatic melanoma, failing Keytruda, I mean, what do you have, 6 months to live? You know, you don't have a lot to do at that point, right? So you have a 30% chance of response and about a 50-50 that that's going to be any good for you. Median potential follow-up for DOR is 19 months. That's a little, to me, that's a little sus because the range here says that it's about 50% at 6 to 9 months. But regardless, it's a drug. It works. And it's, I guess, selling. Was this the first quarter of sales? Let's see. I bet you it's $1 zillion. They have an interim CEO? Current? Do they sell Proleukin? They actually have Proleukin? I wanted to buy that drug too. When did they get Proleukin? Gotta buy that thing, raise it up. Okay, there's the approval, February. It's tricky, they have to like get all these centers to actually do the work to administer the drug. It's usually quite expensive. Looks like this is probably like a frontline study or something. I mean, the checkpoint inhibitor is doing most of the work here. And lung cancer is like the big indication, probably. Endometrial cancer. A couple of new potential drugs, including a different IL-2. So this will be interesting. The cost of goods is higher than the revenue. That's pretty rare for anybody that doesn't know. So I wonder what the margins at some point will probably get better. That's a little bit odd. Yeah, I would think that over time the margins will be in the 50s to 70s or 80s. We know from Kite and those other cell therapy companies. Juno, was it? Okay, so they didn't really have revenue in Q1. So all of this revenue from Amtagvi is from this quarter, so 13 in revenue. Unlike most drugs, there's no stocking here, right? So all of that revenue is demand. But you would still think there's some like pent up demand for people who wanted that treatment, although they wouldn't be living that long to be pent up. I'm just trying to gauge how popular the drug is. And we have to look at other cell therapy companies to get a sense for how well those drugs are selling. Because they're still pain in the ass to administer. Well, this is definitely one commercial launch worth watching. I think probably a lot of the value is going to come in the other indications. Abecma is not autologous though, right? It's off the shelf. So Abecma just works. This is like, you gotta go make the drug just for Mr. Smith or Mrs. Williams. And they wait for the medicine, and it costs a fortune. Let's see how much it costs actually. Amtagvi price. Woohoo! $500,000? Yeesh. So let me get this straight. This thing is $500,000, and you've got a 30% chance. You got a 30% chance. No, this is you got a 30% chance of getting a response. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you got to collect the blood. You go to a special lab. So $515,000, 30% chance of it working at all. So it's really like $1.5 million to extend your life for 6 months. Whew. Life is the most valuable thing we have. So I'm going to look at the other indications at some point and just kind of like get a sense for the efficacy potential in like lung cancer, because that's also a big indication. Be curious what the margins long term look like. Probably would be fine. You could see it being a decent long, possibly. I have to keep thinking about it. All right, somebody asked for Google on the Godel platform. So I have to listen to the Godel people first. Sorry, guys. These are my customers. Okay. Let us look at the Goog. I update Goog fairly regularly, so. Oh, I did not update Q2. Alphabet investor regulations. Let me see here. 163. This is not right. Why are so many CEOs Indian? They work hard, man. They're really smart. They work hard. American dream. Indian American dream. Okay, so let's do balance sheet for Google. Look at the CapEx for Google. They've gone from having 100 bill in equipment to 150. That's including depreciation. You know, they have this recent ruling where they potentially will no longer be able to pay Apple for product placement. I think it's kind of bullshit. I mean, I'm anti-regulation, very antitrust. Needless to say. And I don't think we should break up monopolies just because they're monopolies. Why punish people for doing their job well? That to me is crazy. Yeah, I agree that these bigger companies have risk-averse CEOs. That's why people like Satya and Mark Zuckerberg are very unusual. You know, they're really remarkable risk takers. I'm just going to hard code this in for a second. Okay, so Google last quarter grew 14%. I have to go back a quarter real quick. It'll only take a second, I promise. Yeah, so Google's old CEO, Eric Schmidt, recently um, said that the reason the company hasn't been doing well is because of the remote work and pay time off, which I completely agree with. I think remote work is a non-starter. And he was basically saying the company no longer has that dog in them. And they removed the video from the internet because that's the kind of shit Google does. But he said it, he can't take it back. I think there's a lot of truth to what he said. And, and generally, the bigger the company, the lazier it gets, That's pretty typical. It's hard to have that entrepreneurial drive. What the heck? Let's look at cash flow. They call me Fidel Cash Flow. Sometimes they call me that. You may call me that as well. Chat, is that real? Chat? I have to be like Aiden Ross. The chat is going crazy right now. It's hard to make financial analysis that fun and that sexy. It really is. It's just not that easy. Are these numbers for real right now? Can you believe this? 16% growth? Whoa! That's crazy, bros. Kramer, is the one guy, give him credit, that could kind of make it interesting, but, his whole shtick was, a little bit, I don't know, not contrived, but maybe even ill-informed. You could tell he doesn't know every stock, which is a little foolish to even suggest you could know every stock. Because, I don't know, in my field, I know a lot of stocks in biopharma, but it's hard to stay that current on them unless you're, looking at them all day. And I know he works really hard and everything, but I don't know. Entertainment is a distant goal for me. I'd much rather you be rich than entertained, or learn how to become rich. Because I'm not going to do it for you. But I'm happy to share what I know. Notice Google hasn't made a substantial acquisition in a long time. I think it's because, I mean, they considered, right, apparently buying HubSpot, which would have been interesting. They're spending their capital, as you can see here, on stock buybacks. They put 100 billion into stock buybacks these last 7 quarters. 100 B. And they've paid some dividends. Not much in the dividends, it looks like. Actually, they stopped paying dividends? I don't get it. Chat, I don't get it. Okay. So trailing, no, that's single quarter free cash flow. Wow. Okay. So TTM FCF, trailing 12 months free cash flow. It's a pretty good metric, I think. It's been pretty steady if you look at that chat. Take a look. Line 94. You see that? It's been pretty steady. You know, the company's been trying to invest in CapEx. You can see that, like, from 2022 to 2024, you know, it's sort of been this steady 60 to 70 billion. This number looks like suspiciously the same. Almost looks like, what are the odds that all 3 quarters would be 69,495 together? That's like impossible. What a coincidence. These are like all different numbers. How crazy is that, chat? How crazy is that? Is there any explanation for that? Wild. Like, how unlikely? Let's look at the decimals. Well, they don't have decimals, so they're exactly the 3 same numbers. That's pretty crazy. You never see that. All right, let's go start looking at the actual situation. Disaggregated revenue, Google search, 48,509. And so search is growing. You know, ChatGPT was introduced, what would you say, some point in this period, right? And I have like the other traffic data, and I can tell you from that traffic data, as well as this revenue data, like, ain't shit changed for Google. YouTube also growing. Rest in peace to Susan. You know, if you guys didn't know, Susan, one of the great businesswomen in history.
You could skip this.
Sorry for the ad. I'm on the other Google account, has no ads.
Is mourning a devastating. The tech community is mourning a devastating loss. Susan Wojcicki, the former CEO of YouTube, has died at the age of 56 after a battle with lung cancer. And her husband, Dennis Troper, takes to Facebook to announce the sad news. He writes alongside pictures of Susan, "It is with profound sadness that I share the news of Susan Wojcicki passing. My beloved wife of 26 years and mother to our 5 children left us today after 2 years of living with non-small cell lung cancer." He continues, "Susan was not just my best friend and partner in life, but a brilliant mind, a loving mother, and a dear friend to many. Her impact on our family and the world was immeasurable. We are heartbroken, but grateful for the time we had with her. Please keep our family in your thoughts as we navigate this difficult time." Susan joined Google in 1999, years before it was acquired by YouTube in 2006.
She got that backwards, maybe?
In 2014, she became the media company's CEO, leading the charge of video sharing on social media. And after 9 years in the position, Susan stepped down in 2023 to focus on her, quote, family, health, and personal projects, according to NBC News, and was replaced by YouTube's current CEO, Neil Mohan. Following the news of her passing, Neil also expresses his condolences.
Yeah, that guy's voice is annoying, but rest in peace, Susan. Tech legend. One of the, I want to say first employees at Google. There she is, number 16. I keep track of all the Google employees. Susan Wojcicki. Marissa. These guys I both know. This guy just got reacquired. Jeff and Narayanan. So yeah, one of the first employees over at Google. Made a very special company. All right, so GCP, Google Cloud, still growing. Other bets and hedging. Okay. TAC is traffic acquisition cost, pretty important stuff to look at. I also want to see the geography. And I want to listen to the conference call. Advertising still most of Google's business. What are the real big threats to search? GPT, which Google I think is completely neutered. They have their own sort of AI search. They're very good at AI, despite all the shit we talk. You know, they invented half of AI. So I think they're going to be fine. They're not that great at product anymore, but at the end of the day, it seems to me very unlikely that there's going to be, you know, some interloper that comes out of the woodwork and beats Google. Here's TAC. So I guess the idea is like, is this where the Apple payments come out of? It should, right? Traffic acquisition costs paid to distribution partners. They pay Mozilla, they pay Apple. That's their main cost of goods, right? Otherwise they would have no cost of goods. I like Intel. I don't know if it's a buy right now, but I do like Intel. IBRX looked really interesting to me actually. I can't say I really like it or anything, but I'm looking into it. I don't know Zomedica. I haven't looked at that in a long time. I can look at it later. So buying character is a really interesting move for Google. I don't know Starbucks at all. I think the character acquisition's really fascinating. They're paying like $2 billion. It'll come out in the cash flow statement, I think, next quarter, if they close the deal. Character AI. So they're changing their CFO too. I'm not sure on Iovance. I only looked at it for a few minutes. So in terms of the TTM FCF, that's one I want to talk about real briefly. So the enterprise value chat is roughly 2 trillion. Gupta's doing good. So 70, that's around a 27, 28 times earnings. But that's with a lot of CapEx that may roll over and not be spent again. So that's kind of one way to think about that. Yeah, I talked to Navalia, of course. It's on our website. I talked to most of the famous investors and founders. Just because somebody's famous doesn't mean they're good, by the way. Naval is very good, but you got to decide whose advice you want to take and for what topic. And for me, it's just, information to integrate into your own thinking process. Google, same thing. Okay, let's listen a little.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for standing by for the Alphabet second quarter 2024 earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. After the speaker presentation, there will be a question and answer session. To ask a question during the session, you will need to press star 1 on your telephone. I would now like to hand the conference over to your speaker today, Jim Friedland, Director of Investor Relations. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Alphabet's second quarter 2024 earnings conference call. With us today are Sundar Pichai, Philip Schindler, and Ruth Porat. Now, I'll quickly cover the safe harbor. Some of the statements that we make today regarding our business, operations, and financial performance may be considered forward-looking. Such statements are based on current expectations and assumptions that are subject to a number of risks and uncertainties. Actual results could differ materially. Please refer to our Forms 10-K and 10-Q, including the risk factors. We undertake no obligation to update any forward-looking statement. During this call, we will present both GAAP and non-GAAP financial measures. A reconciliation of non-GAAP to GAAP measures is included in today's earnings press release, which is distributed and available to the public through our investor relations website located at abc.xyz/investor. Our comments will be on year-over-year comparisons unless we state otherwise.
And now, I'll turn the call over to Sundar.
Thank you, Jim, and hello, everyone. I'm really pleased with our results this quarter. They showed tremendous ongoing momentum in search and great progress in cloud with our AI initiatives driving new growth. Search had another excellent quarter, and in terms of product innovation, we are seeing great progress with AI overviews. In Q2, cloud reached some major milestones. Quarterly revenues crossed the $10 billion mark for the first time, at the same time passed the $1 billion mark in quarterly operating profit. Year to date, our AI infrastructure and generative AI solutions for cloud customers have already generated billions in revenues and are being used by more than 2 million developers. As I spoke about last quarter, we are uniquely well positioned for the AI opportunity ahead. Our research and infrastructure leadership means we can pursue an in-house strategy that enables our product teams to move quickly. Combined with our model building expertise, we are in a strong position to control our destiny as the technology continues to evolve. Importantly, we are innovating at every layer of the AI stack, from chips to agents and beyond, a huge strength. We are committed to this leadership long term. This was underscored by the announcements we made at I/O, Cloud Next, and Google Marketing Live, and we'll touch on many of them here. Today, I'll start with search, then move to our AI momentum more generally, followed by cloud, YouTube, and some closing thoughts. Let's dive in. Over the past 25 years, we have continued to reimagine and expand Google Search across many technological shifts. With AI, we are delivering better responses on more types of search queries and introducing new ways to search. We are pleased to see the positive trends from our testing continue as we roll out AI overviews, including increases in search usage and increased user satisfaction with the results. People who are looking for help with complex topics are engaging more and keep coming back for AI overviews. And we see even higher engagement from younger users aged 18 to 24 when they use search with AI overviews. As we have said, we are continuing to prioritize approaches that send traffic to sites across the web. And we are seeing that ads appearing either above or below AI overviews continue to provide valuable options for people to take action and connect with businesses. Beyond AI overviews, AI expands the types of queries we are able to address and opens up powerful new ways to search. Visual search via Lens is one. Soon you'll be able to ask questions by taking a video with Lens. And already we have seen that AI overviews in Lens leads to an increase in overall visual search usage. Another example is Circle to Search, which is available today on more than 100 million Android devices. We are seeing tremendous momentum from our AI investments. More than 1.5 million developers are now using Gemini across our developer tools. And we recently unveiled new models that are more capable and efficient than ever. Gemini now comes in 4 sizes, with each model designed for its own set of use cases. It's a versatile model family that runs efficiently on everything from data centers to devices. At 2 million tokens, we offer the longest context window of any large-scale foundation model today, which powers developer use cases that no other model can handle. Gemini is making Google's own products better. All 6 of our products with more than 2 billion monthly users now use Gemini. This means that Google is the company that is truly bringing AI to everyone. Gemini is powering incredibly helpful features in search, Workspace, Google Messages, and more. At I/O, we showed new features coming soon to Gmail and to Google Photos. Soon you'll be able to ask Photos questions like, what did I eat at that restaurant in Paris last year? For a glimpse of the future, I hope you saw Project Astra at I/O. It shows multimodal understanding and natural conversational capabilities. We've always wanted to build a universal agent, and it's an early look at how they can be helpful in daily life. Our AI product advances come from our long-standing foundation of research leadership, as well as our global network of infrastructure. In Q2, we announced our first data center and cloud region in Malaysia and expansion projects in Iowa, Virginia, and Ohio. Our TPUs are a key bet here too. Trillium is the sixth generation of our custom AI accelerator, and it's our best performing and most energy efficient TPU to date. It achieves a near 5x increase in peak compute performance per chip and is 67% more energy efficient compared to TPU V5e. And the latest NVIDIA Blackwell platform will be coming to Google Cloud in early 2025. We continue to invest in designing and building robust and efficient infrastructure to support our efforts in AI, given the many opportunities we see ahead. Of course, as we do this, we'll continue to create capacity by allocating resources towards our highest priorities. We are relentlessly driving efficiencies in our AI models. For example, over the past quarter, we've made quality improvements that include doubling the core model size for AI overviews, while at the same time improving latency and keeping cost per AI overview served flat. And we have focused on matching the right model size to the complexity of the query in order to minimize impact on cost and latency. Separately, on our real estate investments, we are taking a measured approach to match the current and future needs of our hybrid workforce as well as our local communities. Next, Google Cloud. We continue to see strong customer interest, winning leading brands like Hitachi, Motorola Mobility, and KPMG. Our deep partnership with Oracle significantly expanded our joint offerings to their large customer base. Our momentum begins with our AI infrastructure, which provides AI startups like Essential AI with leading cost performance for models and high-performance computing applications. We continue to drive fundamental differentiation with new advances since Cloud Next. This includes Trillium, which I mentioned earlier, and A3 Mega powered by NVIDIA H100 GPUs, which doubles the networking bandwidth of A3. Our enterprise AI platform Vertex helps customers such as Deutsche Bank, Kingfisher, and the US Air Force build powerful AI agents. Last month, we announced a number of new advances. Uber and WPP are using Gemini Pro 1.5 and Gemini Flash 1.5 in areas like customer experience and marketing. We broaden support for third-party models, including Anthropic's Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and open source models like Gemma 2, Llama, and Mistral. We are the only cloud provider to offer grounding with Google Search, and we are expanding grounding capabilities with Moody's, MSCI, ZoomInfo, and more. Our AI-powered applications portfolio is helping us win new customers and drive upsell. For example, our conversational AI platform is helping customers like Best Buy and Gordon Food Service. Gemini for Workspace helps Click Therapeutics analyze patient feedback as they build targeted digital treatments. Our AI-powered agents are also helping customers develop better quality software, find insights from their data, and protect their organization against cybersecurity threats using Gemini. Software engineers at Wipro are using Gemini Code Assist to develop, test, and document software faster. And data analysts at Mercado Libre are using BigQuery and Looker to optimize capacity planning and fulfill shipments faster. Cybersecurity risks continue to accelerate, and the number of breaches continue to grow, something we all see in the news every day and that our managing teams help manage. Our strong track record of uptime, quality control, and reliability make Google Cloud the trusted security choice for organizations like Pfizer and Marriott International. In Q2, we infused AI throughout our security portfolio, helping TELUS strengthen its proactive security posture. Turning next to YouTube. YouTube is focused on a clear strategy, connecting creators with a massive audience and enabling them to build successful businesses through ads and subscriptions while helping advertisers reach their desired audience. We had a great brand cast this quarter, and Philip will say more. I'm pleased with the progress here. YouTube is remaining number one in US streaming watch time according to Nielsen. Views of YouTube Shorts on connected TVs more than doubled last year, and we are making it easier for creators to add captions and turn regular videos into shorts. Next, on Android and Pixel. We joined Samsung for their Galaxy Unpacked event a few weeks ago, and we shared that Samsung's new devices will include the latest AI-powered Google updates on Android. It was a great event. I'm looking forward to our Made by Google event happening in August. We'll have lots to share around Android and the Pixel portfolio of devices. Our Pixel line is doing well. We recently introduced a new Pixel 8a, powered by our latest Google Tensor G3 chip. It provides beautiful AI experiences like Circle to Search, Best Take, and a Gemini-powered AI assistant. In other bets, I'm really pleased with the progress Waymo's making, a real leader in the space and getting rave reviews from users. Waymo's served more than 2 million trips to date and driven more than 20 million fully autonomous miles on public roads. Waymo's now delivering well over 50,000 weekly paid public rides, primarily in San Francisco and Phoenix. And in June, we removed the waitlist in San Francisco so anyone can take a ride. Fully autonomous testing is underway in other Bay Area locations without a human in the driver's seat. Before I close, I want to acknowledge that today is Ruth's final earnings call. Let me take a moment to thank her for all she has done for Google and Alphabet as our...
Somebody asked if everything's priced in the stock market. Well, I think that, yeah, investing is tricky. There's a lot of benefits to studying companies independent of whether or not it's priced in or not. Obviously, if you're solely an investor, that's largely all you really care about. But let's say you're an investor in just AI or search or software in general, you probably have to pay attention to Google, if that makes sense. So that's sort of the first thing there. It's a good barometer for all of tech. You're right that a big market cap stock like this is fairly well arbitraged. So my quick and dirty numbers tell me the stock's worth 161 and the stock's trading at 163. Obviously my forecasting ability isn't that specific and sensitive, but it kind of tells you that the market's assuming this kind of thing will happen. Now, I do think it looks sort of attractive because in my model, starting in 2030, the business goes into decline, which is probably not going to happen. My guess is there'll be some growth instead. And that gets you to 230, which is, quite a bit more than 160. But you're not going to make a fortune with Google. That's a 40% return or so. The discount rate, it's something you can decide for all your other equities. I kind of feel like if the 10-year is trading at 4%, maybe 8% is still a little too conservative. Maybe 7 or 7.5 is more likely. And I think the risk for Google is kind of weighed to the upside. Like I do think that they'll continue to grow. I don't think the risk is weighed to the downside where, as much as I like Perplexity and OpenAI's product and Claude's product, Anthropic's product, it still feels like Google's not going anywhere. If Apple did search, that would be interesting. But Microsoft tried with Bing and couldn't get anywhere. Google responded very quickly in search. And their product right now is pretty good. So cloud for Google, I think could work out with TPUs. It's one of the few serious competitors to NVIDIA. They haven't done a great job of evangelizing TPUs, but given NVIDIA's success, it could be like another $1 trillion for Google's market cap. It's like the risk seems to be weighed to the upside, but it's still a very big company that's not going to be not going to be moving like a swift small company, right? I also think they can. It's weird. Like they're not a very honest company in the sense that they'd rather you not use their AI stuff, and they'd rather not give it to you. They only started to do that when they were pressured by OpenAI and other companies, Meta specifically. And so now we have some open source products from Google, but they'd rather kind of keep it in house. And that's the sort of the character AI story and sort of the LLM story in general, right? Google had LLMs before anyone. And I actually briefly hired one of the guys involved in that kind of shit show. I think it was called Lambda at the time. Now it's called Gemini. But the first Google LLM that people thought was like alive. So again, it's a little hard to foresee too much, but this big CapEx spend that they've had, like you could argue, okay, like look at this CapEx chat. They kind of started this boom in 2022, and I guess they tapered a little bit. But like assuming this, I don't know, maybe it's like, it should be 80 or 90, I don't know, that's kind of what I'm thinking. In which case, it's like somewhat attractive, like it's fairly, I'd rather buy it, if I could buy it at 130 or something, that'd be like the dream price. It's just hard for them to grow that fast. Like you can see the last two years have been pretty tepid. And it's sort of a recession. It would be kind of a problem stock in a recession. Like they could have, in 08, I think they had still, did they grow in 08? I forget. That's actually a good thing to look at. I think they did grow in 08, but it was still a much smaller company then. I don't like Satya. I've said that many times. I think he's kind of a fool. So if he gets replaced at some point, I do think that would be bullish. They need an agile leader. They're very risk averse, like very, very risk averse. So it seems like a decent holding for a portfolio, but it's not the kind of thing that I'd be jumping up and down about buying. You could make the case if they make some really great investments, if they grow a lot faster for some reason, you can get a double, which is a lot for a big cap stock like that. Can you get to 4 trillion? Yeah, maybe. But it's going to require quite a good outcome for them. And I think they're delivering, right? So I think the main lever they can pull is TPUs. If they can make TPUs like NVIDIA as exciting as NVIDIA, I do think that, this cloud business can be as valuable as NVIDIA by itself. That's something that people don't understand. YouTube could also be monetized more effectively, and I think they're doing that, but it's not going to move the needle that much. Same thing with Waymo. Like Waymo's a really amazing company and interesting, but like, what's the most it could be worth? 100 bill, 200 bill? Like, does that really move the needle for 2 trillion? Not really. 5-10%. And don't forget, Grok is out there with AI, and that's a threat. Meta is out there with AI. You could see people doing Google searches on Meta, I guess, a little bit more. It's kind of this weird thing where, because of the lock-in on these devices, there is some serious risk for Google there, but I think most people are going to search with Google regardless. Yeah, I think it's okay. It's like this sleepy giant. If the market sells off or something, you get a chance to buy it much cheaper. It's, could be attractive, but let me reset some of these numbers to something more realistic. Use 0. 7's fine, I guess. Okay. Okay, so 20% upside in this. Okay, let's see what else Godel wants me to look at. ACB, is that the cannabis company? There's some biotech ones here. ZM, that's Zoom. I kind of want to look at Zoom. Rocket for sure. Me, that's 23andMe. Which of those should I look at? I think I want to look at Zoom. So Zoom is a weird software company. I kind of consider them to be an enterprise company. $58 a share. By the way, all these models are available on my GitHub. Terminal value depends on the company, right? So like for a certain company, like a drug company, they have very rough terminal value. It just sort of ends. For a software company, depending on the kind of software, the terminal value can be pretty good. Like Google's, gonna be around a long time no matter what happens. Yeah, I don't know the meeting space that well. Obviously, like everyone else, I use the product, but that's not in and of itself enough to have an opinion. This is like one of my first times ever looking at Zoom. Okay. It looks like 18 billion market cap. Pretty big market cap. Not a small company, this Zoom. Do you remember in COVID when the stock just went crazy? That was wild. Right, chat? Oh, they have a ton of cash. Holy shit. I need that. Ton of cash. Wow. No debt. So it's really like a $10 billion company. Is this real, chat? Can you believe that? 18 billion market cap with 8 billion in cash. What? That's crazy. I can't believe that. That means when I buy the stock, half of it I'm getting is cash. I know. Wow. It's like great downside protection, but you also don't get that much beta, if that makes sense. Okay, here's the revenue. Pretty slow growing company. We'll look at cash flow, stock-based comp, all that stuff in a second. I don't know what calendar quarter this is, so I'm just gonna put it over here. I can't type today at all. I had a beautiful woman over last night. That's probably the first time in, I don't know, I worked too hard. Weeks, months. And I even got some champagne. Not cap. It's not cap at all. Don't do that to me, McNugget. Don't do that. I'm not capping. It wasn't AOC. Come on, beautiful women can't resist the nerd. You gotta see me all suave with a deep voice. What's up, baby? It's Big Skrelly. Yeah. Yeah, no Petrus this time, but we had a nice bottle of champagne, and I'm still feeling it a little bit. I don't drink much these days. But yeah, lovely young woman. You know, I answer all kinds of questions like, Shkreli, why are you so great? Well, baby girl, you know, I'm just that guy. I'm Himothy. It's not that important though. Let's talk about, I'm just telling you why I can't type today. You don't need to know about my personal life. That's my personal time, bro. Please. Give me some space, bro. I'm just a little slower than I normally am. Alcohol does that to you, I think. Imagine if it was Kamala. Woo. Nancy Pelosi, let's go. I'm getting those stock picks. I'll do whatever you want for those stock picks, girl. Tell me what you long. Okay, so Zoom, $1.25 billion. Looks like 200 in earnings, cash flow. Could be wrong, but just off the cuff. Ooh, could be cheap. I like this. I like it. It's a sleeper stock. It's beat up, down, depressed. Nobody cares about Zoom. It's just a fucking dog. Oh man, I love the Godelians. This guy asked me to look at ASTS 2 days ago, and you know, it's not my day job to look at stocks. I just do it for you guys. My day job is writing software. Like, I'll give you an example. um, yeah, here I'm just writing software all night. This is a program I've been working on for a long time, and that's what I do for a living. That's my day job, and I help create Godel, of course, with my amazing team of engineers. But you know, looking at stocks isn't my thing. So anyway, the story is this guy is like, "Hey, look at this stock ASTS," and I'm like, "Okay," and I'm working, and I have to go to work. I have to rest. I have to do something else. I can't look at stocks like 10 hours a day anymore because I'm not a professional investor anymore. And he says, look at ASTS. And that was the last one that I just missed. And it's up fucking 45% today. And I was like, oh, I never heard of this company. It looks interesting. So the Godel chat is on fire. The other guy recommended Chipotle, which made a lot of sense. I wish I made that trade because the CEO of Chipotle left to become the CEO of Starbucks, which is a major upgrade. And it almost, so Chipotle stock went down, but it's actually bullish for Chipotle that they had such a damn good CEO that Starbucks wanted him. It means like their operations have to be really great, and it's not going to like fall off a cliff because he leaves. It's actually kind of, to me, at worst neutral, but it's actually kind of bullish because you never want great talent to leave, but it's still like Stripe's cool. Yeah, I don't know the numbers on Stripe, but you can definitely buy the stock. It's out there. There's accredited platforms. I'm a part of one of them called Hive. Let me see if I can get the price on Hive. I forget which of my accounts I'm logged into here, but like I'll find it real quick. But I like Hive. Again, none of these companies pay me for promotion. Not that they would. But okay, yeah, I use this one for Hive. So you can actually buy and roll, you know, all the really cool companies with Hive. Yeah, I built Godel with my colleagues. I can't log in for some reason, but they're actually a broker dealer too, which is interesting. Someone said I should write a pharma investing book. I wish I had the time. I don't have any time to write books. Yeah, I don't know if I have the right Hive thing. I want to see if Stripe. Stripe should be on there. Stripe will go public too at some point. Okay, yeah, I can't log in, but you should be able to create a Hive account. I think you might need to be accredited, but I'm not sure. So let's keep looking at Zoom. Day trading is really difficult. I don't know that I would do that. I write a lot of software, brother. Don't test me. Don't ever make me mad. That's the number one thing you should never ever do. We have like every data vendor that you would expect. Direct exchange relationships, etc. I thought LXRX looked really interesting, actually, yeah. Explain higher order functions? Stop. Like, explain everything. Don't fuck with me. I'll talk about functional programming, first class functions. Talk about recursion, complexity. Come on. And by the way, not everyone's a computer scientist. Monads. Monads. I know monads from math and computer science. You guys sleep on Skrelly, bro. No one ever sleep on Skrelly. I was writing Lisp in jail. And I could tell you how to hustle on the block. Yeah, the accredited investor thing is kind of bullshit. You can parse Edgar, sure. We do it. Godel does it. Nancy's an old lady. She's gonna be attracted to different types of shit. You know, you gotta in with Nancy Pelosi. You gotta be real sharp how you approach. Link lists, B trees. There's tries. You know, if you know the try data structure, this is one of my favorites. I've been doing some quantum computing data structures. Those are really interesting. Hadamard gates. In Torch, you have all these interesting operations. Einstein matrix, multiplication. At the end of the day, a lot of this stuff doesn't matter. I mean, if you're writing React, like literally like the core library, it matters. But if you know, it doesn't really matter if you're creating some kind of front end or something, you know. And, you know, look, I mean, a lot of the advantage in technology is just quick product iteration, not so much, yeah, BG, I don't know who you are, but, you know, you don't come into my chat room testing me. I was one of the first React users. I hired Facebook React dudes. I can, you know, when they changed the DOM, they asked me first. They asked me first, right? Get element ID, get element by ID. I made that. I made that. They asked me. I'm just joking around, obviously. Brendan Ike, that's my homie. Kanye West, that's my homie. WebRTC, one of the first users. Kubernetes, one of the first users. Docker, we made Docker before Docker. They copied us. You're getting me all fucked up right now. You're turning me back to the old Shkreli, man. Turn me back to that. I invest a little bit, but I mostly focus on my own company. Bridge Capital or Bridger Capital? I think Bridger Capital is closed now. I'm not sure though. Okay, so cash flow for 3 months ended with 600. Obviously, that's not annualizable. Or Zoom would be the cheapest stock on the face of the earth, but maybe it is. We'll have to keep looking. Okay, so they called this, that's August 21st, so that's next week. They call this first quarter fiscal 25. Pretty amazing margins. This could be a huge long. I'm loving it. And it's not even McDonald's. I'm hungry. This is really cool. Yeah, this is a press release. Big O notation, little O notation, quantum complexity is what I'm interested in. All that shit is bullshit. Quantum zoo. This is Scott Aronson's. Well, this is a different guy, Stephen Jordan, but these are, you want to do some real mind fucks. Is this Scott Aronson's? One of these is Scott Aronson's. You want to talk about real crazy complexity? Here he is, Zookeeper, Scott Aronson. All right, wrong one. Although this one looks interesting too. Counterfeit coins. Suppose we are given n coins, k of which are counterfeit. The real coins are all of equal weight, and the counterfeit ones are all of some other weight. We have a pan balance and can compare the weight of any subsets of the coins, any pair of subsets of the coins. Classically, we need omega k log n over k weightings to identify all the counterfeit coins. We can introduce an oracle such that given a pair of subsets of equal cardinality, it outputs one bit indicating balanced or unbalanced. Building on prior work, they have shown that on a quantum computer, one can identify all of the counterfeit coins using big O k to the 1 over 4, which is the quad root, I guess. The core techniques behind the speed up are amplitude amplification and the Bernstein-Vazirani algorithm. So in quantum computing, there's a very important thing called amplitude, which I won't bother talking about. But lots of cool things that change in quantum computing. Now, quantum computing is still largely theoretical, but still amazingly mind-bending to study. If you haven't read this book, I was actually talking to the chick about it last night. Quantum Computing Since Democritus. Probably one of the best books I've ever read. Really advanced. It took me years to read. I think Scott is one of the smartest guys in the world. There's some wild stuff in here about, like I said, time travel and stuff like that, but no, I don't want to retire. I should have this book on my, here it is. I've got it on my desktop. Sorry, Scott. Love you, man. Scott is at OpenAI now, which if that's not interesting enough, I don't know what is. There's some interesting problems here. I'll walk you through a few of them. All these like complexity classes, like p-space, time travel is funny. Okay, here's the puzzle. Dr. Evil is on his moon base, and he has a very powerful laser pointed at Earth. Of course, he's planning to obliterate the Earth, being evil and all. At the last minute, Austin Powers hatches a plan and sends Dr. Evil the following message. Back in my lab here on Earth, I've created a replica of your moon base down to the last detail. The replica even contains an exact copy of you. Everything is the same, all the atoms, all the momenta, everything. Given that, you actually don't know if you're in your real moon base or in my copy here on Earth. So if you obliterate the Earth, there's a 50% chance you'll be killing yourself. The puzzle is, what should Dr. Evil do? Should he fire the laser or not? Interesting, right? So there's lots of little anthropic principle ideas around this. Here's another paradox. Newcomb's paradox. Suppose that a super intelligent predictor shows you two boxes. The first box has $1,000. The second box has either $1 million or nothing. Well, in classical reality, this is an easy choice, right? You don't know which is the case, but the predictor has already made the choice and either put the money in or left the second box empty.
You, the chooser, have two choices. You can either take the second box only or both boxes. Your goal, of course, is money and not understanding the universe. Here's the thing. What's the trick? The predictor made a prediction about your choice before the game started. If the predictor predicted you'll take only the second box, then he put $1 million in it. If he predicted you'll take both boxes, then he left the second box empty. The predictor has played this game thousands of times before, thousands of people, and he's never been wrong once. Every single time someone picked the second box, they found $1 million in it. Every single time they picked both boxes, they found the second box was empty. Why is it obvious that you should take both boxes? Well, whatever's in the second box, you'll always get $1,000 more. The decision of what to put in the second box has already been made. You're taking both boxes can't possibly affect it. Well, why is it obvious you should always take just the second box? Well, because the predictor's never been wrong. Again and again, the one box pickers get $1 million, and the two box pickers get $1,000. So why should this be any different? And so this is Robert Nozick, who's a very famous intellectual. I'll also recommend reading his work. To almost everyone, it is perfectly clear and obvious what should be done. The difficulty is that the people seem to be divided almost evenly on the problem, with large numbers thinking that the opposing half is just silly. There's a third position, the Wittgenstein position. It's my father's favorite philosopher, which says that the problem is just incoherent. If the predictor existed, then you wouldn't have the freedom to make the choice in the first place. In other words, the very fact that you're debating which choice to make implies the predictor can't exist. One student says, can't you get out of the paradox by flipping a coin? And anyway, the point of this book is that it goes through not just complexity, but also little like basics in math and things that you might want to know about, like Peano axioms and things like that, Zermelo-Fraenkel, and a whole lot of complexity. So if you studied undergraduate complexity with classical computing, this would be very interesting for you to read a little bit more. There's a bunch of stuff, again, dealing in quantum physics, a lot of Dirac notation and stuff like that. There's some of that. The no cloning theorem, a lot of real great, interesting theoretical physics, but from a computational kind of perspective. So Wittgenstein. What's up, Fanta? Quantum Computing Since Democritus. That's the book. And Complexity Zoo, the website. Look at all these complexity classes. Oh my God. Can you imagine knowing all of these? What's some of the famous ones? Everyone knows P and NP. But how about like BPP or P-space? Where's P-space? So what the heck is P-space? P-space is polynomial space. So all decision problems solvable by a Turing machine in polynomial time. So is it equal to NP space? Assuming the existence of one-way functions, which maybe cannot assume. This is like the frontier of knowledge, the frontier of thinking. There's a reason, I guess, our company is named Godel, or our product is named Godel. BPP is another one. So bounded error probabilistic polynomial time. The class of decision problems solvable by an NP machine, such that if the answer is yes, then at least 2/3 of the computational paths are correct, and if it's no, at most 1/3 is. So you have a bound. And there's a lot of people that debate and argue these bounds. So with quantum computing, you have like some other really interesting classes like QP space. I'm sorry, not QP space. Let me get you a better quantum class than that. I'm trying to think. Like BPPQ, I want to say. Well, I haven't studied this too carefully. Bounded error quantum p-space. Probabilistic p-space. So anyway, that's, if you really want to be smart, learn that stuff. I'm not smart enough for that stuff. I'm just look at financial statements and try to make a good investment. Monkey make good investment.
Anyway, that guy now works at OpenAI, and he knows nothing about AI, or he didn't, and now he knows a lot about AI, but he's just a great thinker. So I really like Scott Aronson, even though he probably doesn't know I exist. I'm cool with that. He doesn't use social media either, which is awesome. Can you imagine not using social media? Can you imagine? No, I like Lambda because it's got the lowest prices. Steve's cool too. But, I mean, we have other compute providers other than Lambda. And some of them we regret, but another really good one is Shadeform. So again, these guys don't pay us or anything, but I highly recommend Shadeform if you want GPUs. They are kind of like a, oh wow, $1.72 for a 180 gig. I might want that. So they use every other cloud, if you can see here. They use Lambda. This is really cool, actually. They're doing a great job. Lambda is not slow and not expensive. The opposite. Lambda is like one-click deploys. Yeah, we use RunPod sometimes. RunPod is not enterprise ready. Yeah, we are hiring. Go to dl.software. Hiring full stack, talented full stack engineers. So a couple jobs here. Oh, this site changed. I think I have to redo this actually. Yeah, let me redo that. But yeah, any full stack talent basically, and machine learning talent. And you get to work with me all day. Me yelling in your ear. I should head back to the office, as a matter of fact, right now. I want to head back to bed. I'm so tired from last night's champagne binge. All right, so cash flow from this first quarter, or no, it's technically calendar fourth quarter. Oh my God, this is nuts. This is a long. Like, you just gotta buy this. Zoom, ZM. Go out and buy it today. This is a, how is it this cheap? How? Do you see this, chat? Do you see this? There's gotta be something wrong with it. A lawsuit, something. Yeah, the site isn't so great. Liam, sorry about that. Is this real? I don't know if this is real, chat, because I haven't seen a stock this cheap in a long time. I keep typing the Discord thing for you. It's literally on my Twitter handle and everything. Zoom, I don't know, man. This is incredible. These numbers are incredible. I would think at this valuation, Thoma Bravo or someone would buy it out. This is a no-brainer. Competitive advantage. Competitive advantage. Playoffs. You got $4 billion in revenue, $1 billion in cash flow, $1.5 billion in cash flow a year. That's a competitive advantage. Shit. Fuck what you talking about? Getting that bread. They got more cash than most companies. They can buy any company they want. Look at this, 1.6 billion in cash flow from operations. They don't really have capex. I thought it was an anomaly quarter, but no, they're pumping that cash out every quarter. You telling me I can buy $1.6 billion of cash flow, right? That's 6 times earnings, bro. What the fuck? Yo, buy this shit right now, B. Man, get my broker on the phone, man. Buy this shit right now, man. What the fuck? What these people smoking, bruh? Yeah, COVID's over. That's fine. I don't give a fuck about COVID. Fuck COVID. Easy double. Easy double. Telling you right now. Take that to the bank, man. I never say that. Easy double. Thank you. Who gave me this gem? Somebody's making me rich. Who gave me this Zoom? Google is no longer my friend. Zoom is now my best friend. $58. We will see 100. That's all I gotta say. Something's wrong with my Streamlabs. I tried to stream to X, it just didn't work. So yeah, Zoom looks good. Liquidia, I don't really. I mean, it tripled. That's that. I think that's it for me now. I really appreciate that. Zoom can also do a lot of different things with their platform. I mean, just with the steady $1 billion in cash flow, and even if that starts declining a little bit, it's really not that bad. All right, everyone, that was fun. Appreciate your time. Love all of you guys. Have a great day. See you later. Thanks for watching.